Hello everybody, it's Mr. Stevenson here with an assembly put together by Miss G all about online safety. So, at any point during this video, please feel free to pause it, to look at this information on the slide a little bit more. There's some links later on that you might wish to go and have a look at in more detail. Let's start then. First off though, I'd like us to think about how we can use the internet safely and just ask yourself a few key questions. So the first one, how much time have you spent online in the last week? I imagine that many of you are spending more time online and other, on devices at the moment than you usually would. But how much time actually have you done? Then, have all of those experiences that you've had online in the last week been positive? Have they been more positive than negative? Or the other way around? And finally, how can you keep yourself safe online? Do you know anything already? Do you already do things? Maybe your parents and carers have put things in place to help keep you safe online. Pause now if you'd like to have a think about those questions. So let's first think then about what we're sharing online, because that is really, really important. Maybe we're sharing videos and pictures of ourselves, our family, our friends, pets, our house, school, trips, anything like that. Maybe we're sharing information about celebrations or birthdays, gatherings that we've been to that may have taken place. Maybe we're sharing information about our feelings and emotions. We've seen something on the news or something's happened to us at home and we're telling other people how we're feeling at that particular moment. Maybe we're sharing information about our holidays, where we're going, where we've been, what we're doing when we're there. Maybe we're sharing information about our relationships with others. Maybe we're sharing our opinions as part of a discussion or just to let people know. Maybe we're sharing our location. Maybe we've checked into somewhere and people can see where we're actually at. The next thing to think about then is, why do we share things online? What's the purpose of it? Why do we tell people where we are or what we're doing, where we're going on holiday? So maybe it's to form a connection with people, trying to come up with some like-minded individuals, like ourselves, who share those common interests. Maybe it's to make a joke, something funny has happened and we want to share that with other people. Maybe it's for campaigning. That's a really important thing at the moment, where people are using the power of the internet to get messages across to other people. Maybe it's showing off. Maybe we've learned a new skill or a trick and we want to let other people know that we've done that. Is it to try and get attention? We're trying to get other people to notice something that we've done or that we are. Maybe it's to congratulate somebody. We've shared, something's been shared with us and we're trying to pass that on and let everyone know that this has happened. Maybe it's news. Maybe actually something's happened and you're trying to share that news with people. Is it to warn people of potential dangers? One that's really important at the moment maybe is keeping in touch with people. Maybe it's about humour, same thing as there is a joke there. Maybe it's to make friends, learning to get on with new people, meeting other people that way. Maybe it's to offer advice. Maybe it's to try and inspire people. And maybe it's something to do with your education or to develop a career. So I want us to then think about, well, what happens to all of that information that we share online? Whatever it is, whatever reason we've done it for, what actually happens with that information? So say you've sent something to somebody. Maybe that thing that you've sent might stay with the person you intended to see it and them alone. Maybe that actually gets shared again by somebody else, as though other people can then see it. It reaches a wider audience. It might be that somebody could take a screenshot of that, so it's not you sent it to one person and maybe that can then get passed around. Maybe some of it is actually stored and analysed by certain apps and websites. They're tracking your preferences, your usage, and then that can be used potentially there to form part of this big data, this profile of your likes, hobbies, where you live, the things you click on and what your interests are. So let's now think then about how you can keep yourself safe online. As we've just seen, it might be that the thing you send or post is used for the exact purpose you intended it for, but it could also be that it's used for other things as well, maybe that you hadn't expected and planned for. So we do need to be careful. In a minute, what I'd like you to do is just pause this video for 30 seconds and think about as many ways as you can to keep yourself safe online. These might be things you could do, you might already be doing them, or these may be things that parents or other adults can support you with. Pause the video now, and I'll see you in 30 seconds. Welcome back. Let's have a look then. So a few rules and suggestions then for keeping ourselves safe online. The first one, know who you're talking to. Now this might seem really self-explanatory, but it's really important to make sure that when we're communicating with other people online, we know who they are. We shouldn't be giving out personal details such as full names, the school or college you attend, your address, and certainly not anything like your bank details. We've also got to be careful as well that we don't give out anything that could be identifying about us accidentally. So maybe we're sharing a photo of ourselves when you're in your school uniform. Somebody could use that to identify you. Things there like your street address. A second one then, think about knowing what we're sharing and who we're sharing it with. So we need to think about links and articles that you share and for their source. We should only really be sharing it from trusted sources. You'll hear a lot about fake news, but it's really important that we're not sharing things that could be misleading for people. If you're unsure about the accuracy of a post, or if it comes from somewhere that you don't trust, don't share it with people. And also, make sure we know who we're sharing that post with by thinking about our privacy settings. And do be aware that anything that you share, it could be passed on by anyone you share it with. If you feel uncomfortable, talk to a trusted adult. That could be parents or carers, it could be somebody at school, or it could be another adult. Just as you might do for situations happening in real life, if anything makes you uncomfortable, you would talk to them. We can do that online as well. Parents, carers, teachers, the care and guidance team can all be of help in this case. You can also make reports to organisations like CEOP and Childline if you have worries as well, and you can Google those to find the links for them. Most websites will have a link or some reporting button as well. There's a website called Think You Know, and it's also a good source of information about keeping ourselves. So the next one, only have people you know personally on your social media. It can be really tempting when we're trying to get as many followers as we can that we accept friends requests from people that we've never met before and that could maybe they aren't who they say they are. That's an unfortunate fact of the internet, is that actually sometimes people aren't who they appear to be. Make sure that we only have people on that you know personally and in real life on your social media accounts. Maybe it's a friend of a friend who can vouch for them. Don't accept friend requests from people you don't know, and we need to be using our privacy settings and blocking features to ensure that people who don't know you cannot see your posts on social media, especially when they're of a personal nature. Be mindful of what you post, and it's often the temptation to overshare is really strong, so do be careful. Do you need to be sharing every little detail of your life? The answer is probably no. And being kind with what we share is really important. The internet is really a force for good. And I really like this quote at the bottom here. In a world where you can be anything, be kind. Being nice online and don't get involved in spreading nasty gossip or inappropriate posts regarding other people. You could always report those posts if it's something that's quite negative. It's just as unacceptable to make rude comments about others online as it is in the real world. People often feel it's easier because there's a certain anonymity to it, but it actually can be really, really hurtful and upsetting. Use your online time to be positive and send messages of encouragement and support to others. Maybe celebrating people's success, sharing good news and lifting people up. And report posts and users online platforms where you're not being nice. Most platforms do have a built-in and easy way to do this. So the next few slides have got a series of videos on them, but to watch them you'll just need to use a QR reader on your phone to scan that code there. So they're all from Google and they're really useful tips. So the first one is all about thinking before we share. There's the code. You can pause the video anytime to scan it. So the second one is all about protecting your stuff using the inbuilt privacy settings to keep your personal information safe. The third one is about knowing and using your settings, making sure that everything is set up exactly how you want it, so your posts and content reach the people you want it to and not who you don't. The fourth one is all about how to avoid scams, so we're not tricked into giving over personal information to other people. And the final one is all about how we can use the internet to be positive and lift each other up. So that's the end of the assembly. Thank you very much for watching. I do hope that you've maybe picked something up from it. Feel free to go back and rewatch any parts that interested you. Go have a look at those YouTube videos from Google using the QR codes. And if you have any questions or concerns, ask a trusted adult, somebody at home at the moment, maybe somebody in school. Let us know. But the important thing there is have fun and stay safe. Talk to you soon. Bye.